of sea level in the Houston area, and that makes flooding a big problem here. And with hurricane season just over a month away, a solution for protecting your home is raised floor living, raised flooring. I recently met up with Kathy Cake, a certified floodplain manager with Raised Floor Living. She explained how this type of construction can safeguard your investment.
Anytime we get rain in Houston, somebody's going to get flooded. So with that said, just because you don't live in a flood zone doesn't mean you shouldn't get flood insurance.
Yeah, I would recommend that every homeowner get flood insurance. If you're not in a flood zone, it's really inexpensive, just a few $100s a year. And that's a small price to pay for peace of mind for your family.
Yeah, and you can save money if you take what I guess is really a preventative measure, and that is do raised floor.
Right, to elevate your home, you can easily do it with a raised floor foundation. And if you elevate to +2 or more above the base flood elevation, you can cut your flood insurance in half. And that can save you $500 or more each and every year of your mortgage.
Yeah, all right. So with raised floor, there are certain requirements. What are some of those things that have to be required in order for it to meet code?
Well, if you have a raised floor, and what the benefit is that you can, if you do have a flood, you have a place for the flood waters to go. So what you have to have is the proper flood vents, and so that you can let the water in and let it back out, and without causing damage to your foundation, because that wouldn't be a good thing.
Used to be a time you saw a lot more raised floor homes, and a lot of them are still around today after even over 100 years. But we started going on the ground. There's the dirt fill. That has caused a number of problems in terms of creating flooding.
It has. We got away from our traditions, but we've had some wake-up calls with Tropical Storm Allison, with Hurricane Ike, that have caused a lot of flooding, and people are starting to think about it. But we still see a lot of homes being built directly on the ground, on slabs. And when people are being told to elevate, sometimes they bring in big mounds of dirt fill and then put their slab on top of that. And as a certified floodplain manager, I worry about how that's altering the floodplain and causing damage to the neighbors. So with a raised floor foundation, though, you have a place for the water to go, and therefore you can protect your home, your family, but all without flooding your neighbor.
Yeah, you mentioned, in your area of expertise, that's got to be constantly changing when you have people constantly building.
It is, and there are some neighborhoods in the Houston area that have gotten together and said, we don't want to have any fill in our neighborhood, so they've actually passed no-fill ordinances.
Yeah, because every time people flood, that makes our insurance go up even higher. Explain when you say flood insurance. Sometimes people get that confused and they think they're covered under their basic homeowners policy, but this is really, we're talking about rising water.
Right. Homeowners does not cover damage from rising water. That's what flood insurance is for. When you have like a heavy rain or you have a hurricane event where you get a lot of water that comes rising up from the surface, that's what's covered by flood insurance. We have floods in all 50 states, so it's really important to be covered.
Yeah, and people need to ask the right questions.
Yes. And I've been flooded, and that's a horrible thing. I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody. So again, elevating your home up provides a lot of benefit.
It's really your personal experience that kind of made you go into the expert field of this.
Yes, became a certified floodplain manager because I wanted to help people so that they wouldn't have the same problems that my family had.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Raised Floor Living will make the dream of one lucky Houston area homeowner come true. You can win the opportunity to have your dream home designed by a professional architect. To learn more about that opportunity and the many benefits and features of a raised floor home, log on to raisedfloorliving.com. We'll be right back.